Hey there, welcome back to my channel. It's your everydayness Abby. We are starting a new series on depression. Join me even as we get to know about what depression is, know about its causes, know about its signs and symptoms, treatment and therapies that one can go through when the person is diagnosed of depression. We'll also know the difference between depression as a mental condition and being depressed. So, according to WHO, depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide, and it is also considered as the major contributor to the overall burden of disease. And depression is also known to be one of the leading causes of suicide. And according to research, it is estimated that 700,000 people die each year due to suicide. And we know that suicide comes about when people are depressed and they end up ending their lives. So it is important for us to know about depression and also how to treat ourselves or how to seek for treatment and to prevent us from ending our life. Still, according to research, it is known that depression is common among women than men because women are emotional beings and we tend to get emotional about things than men. One thing we must also notice that depression has treatment, being it mild, moderate, or severe. There are treatments there are medications, there are therapies, there are counseling sections that one can go through when one is diagnosed of depression. So now let's move on. Depression affects how we feel, how we think, and then our actions. So it affects our feelings, our thoughts, and actions. Yes. So it controls how you feel. That's why you become very, very sad, and then it controls your thoughts. Then you start having negative thoughts, and then you begin to act out those negative thoughts, and even to the point of ending your life. It can also lead to a lot of emotional and physical problems and even affect our ability to work or function effectively, as in forming a reasonable family or doing something meaningful with our lives. So that is what depression is about. So now what is depression? Now let's get to the things or the symptoms that determines whether one has depression or not. So for one to be considered as being depressed, the person has abnormally persistent lowered mood changes. That brings about that in there is a continuous lowered mood changes. So it's like the person develops a profound sadness. The person becomes very, very sad for a longer period of time. There is also decreased self-esteem. So the person's self-esteem or self-confidence becomes low or decreases to the point that the person can't even feel or have any confidence in him or herself. There is also social withdrawal or isolation. So the person becomes withdrawn from people. If the person used to socialize, used to check up on people, used to get up early in the morning, attending to various activities, when someone is diagnosed of depression, the person withdraws him or herself from other people. There is also loss of interest in previously enjoyed activities, things that the person used to enjoy very much. Maybe the person loved music, the person loved to spend time with the family, maybe the person loved to play games, to watch television, to watch movies, anything that the person loves to do. When the person develops depression, he or she loses all the interest he or she has in those activities. There is also changes in appetite. So the person tends to eat a lot or does not eat at all. And because there is change in appetite, it brings about change in weight also. That is, if the person is eating more, the person will put on weight. If the person is not eating at all, then the person loses weight. So in depression, it is not all about losing appetite and then becoming slim, but the person can also gain weight by eating a lot. There is also trouble sleeping because when it's in the night and the person wants to rest, this is when the person will have negative thoughts that keep telling the person he or she is hopeless, he or she is helpless, he or she is aimless, there is nothing profitable for the person to do in this world. Sometimes the person will feel certain guilt and feel like nobody loves him or her, and that the only solution is for him or her to take his life. And these thoughts, you do not have control over them. It can even escalate to the point of having thoughts to commit suicide. Most of them end up in attempting suicide, and if care is not taken, they end up ending their life. That is why depression is known as one of the leading causes of suicide. The person also has decreased energy. So, if the person is very energetic, when the person is diagnosed of depression, the person loses energy or loses the zeal, the edge to do anything meaningful. That's when the person will not get up to go and bath. The person will not get up to brush the teeth or eat or do anything. The person will just be indoors or lock himself in the room and feels like he or she wants to be alone. The person also does not maintain his personal hygiene. That is grooming himself, bathing and grooming himself, taking care of his hair, his or her hair, or doing something just to look good. The person does not really have that interest in doing that. There is also the feeling of guilt, there is the feeling of hopelessness, there is the feeling of helplessness. So these are all symptoms of depression, or when we can see someone is actually depressed. Thank you very much. Join me again as we get to know more about depression, know about the causes, symptoms, the differences between depression as a condition and normal sadness. Thank you very much. So, everyday net, Abby, meet you in our next series.